All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have unlimited packs with these exchanges, aka the shapeshifters. They got re-released with overall minimum of the rating. They used to be the exact rating, so it was hard to make 89s. This video, I'm going to touch on a bunch of stuff. I've wanted to record this like 5 different times because I keep thinking of new stuff. We're going to start with the basics. If you have 0 or very low coins, very low packs, how to start building up, what things are the best to focus on, and then from there, it's going to go more kind of preference once you start getting into the unlimited territory, what you want to add in, where you want to put cards, if you want to get SBCs done, if you want everything back in packs. So every sort of grind will be covered in this. If you do enjoy or you find it helpful at all, smack that like button, subscribe if you're new. I really do appreciate it. So we're going to start off, what are exchanges? What are these shapeshifter packs if you haven't seen them yet? Every single section needs exactly 4 cards with the minimum overall that's listed. So we have 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89 that all have them. They all give different packs. So real quick, 50-player pack in this one. Really nice for the 89 overall exchange. You get at least an 84 plus times 10 guaranteed in there, with one of the cards being an 85 plus. 88's an 83 plus times 20. I think that's even better than that. 87 rated gets you an 82 times 20. 86 rated gets you an 81 times 20, and this is probably the craziest one of them all with some of the stuff we're going to go over. But the lowest rated one, which is also good for a different reason, is the 85 overall, gets you a 75 times 20 pack. So these are out for the next week by the time I record this. We have things like this 83 plus player pick. If it comes back differently in 2 days, there might be a different player pick that you can grind into it or stuff like that. But some of these SBCs that we talk about in this video, if something else is out by the time you watch this, just look at the other SBCs. It'll be relatively similar. So what do you do if you have very little coins, very little packs? What is kind of the starting point? If you've been grinding the promos in the recent month or so, you would know that most days we've had a daily bronze, daily silver, daily gold upgrade, along with like a super daily silver, super daily bronze, stuff like that. You're going to complete these by chucking a bronze into these teams. Get yourself 6 of those done, 6 of these. You're going to easily get the daily gold upgrades done here, which is going to get you 13, 11 gold player packs. 1 rare, the rest commons. You're going to be able to craft a bunch of different SBCs with that. We'll go into that shortly. With the leftover silvers, though, that you get from that grind, you're going to start doing the shapeshifter grinding upgrade. What is this? It is a grind pack. You get a ton of cards in here, 7 commons, 3 rares. Have a chance to pack something along the way too that you could chuck into exchanges or help kind of build that shell of the grind. You're not going to be able to complete all 30 with these though. Realistically, you'll probably get at least 10 of these done with the silvers that you get on a day-to-day basis. But what we used to do in the past is we used to bid 150 to finish the rest of these, because at the time it was worth it. Silvers were very cheap, but now there's an even better option than this. So once you've done kind of 10 of these on a day-to-day basis, once you run out of silvers, stop. Don't do any more. We're going to show you the best place to kind of put your coins if you have any amount of coins. And any amount of coins, I'm talking about maybe 10,000 plus, is the 86 upgrade, which now that I'm recording this, we're going to very quickly touch on, but we're going to come back later because I want to show you with your daily gold packs what you're going to build towards. But just briefly showing you why we want to do this instead of maybe our coins into the silvers is 86s are actually under 1,000 coins. They're ranging from 700 coins to 1,300 coins. But even if they're around that range, it is extremely cheap to get these SBCs done. So me showing you some bids right here, we won some for 700, some went for 800, some for 850. If you can win these for 700, you get 4 of them put into an exchange. That's 2,100 coins for an 81 times 20 pack. That is absolutely wild. So if you have any amount of coins and you want to build up maybe like 5 to 10 of these a day to kind of skip that initial grind, or if you don't want to do that anymore, or you want to do this on top of that, that's going to get you a long way in terms of starting to get yourself more fodder and get yourself more packs to the point of unlimited. But what do you do with kind of those low-end golds? There's 2 routes people like to go. Some people like making things like the 83 plus player pick. I'm going to explain why you should hold off on this to start, but why you're going to come back to it later. So we'll touch on that in a minute. But the thing I want you guys to focus on is the crafting upgrade. Shapeshifter's crafting upgrade. This is good for many different reasons. One of them, if you've never touched this before, if you've never seen it, it's 9 cards needed, 2 rares only. The rest can be gold commons. On the menus, it's pretty common on a day-to-day basis with all the exchange packs out there. You're going to run out of commons eventually, and you're going to get a lot more gold rares. Once you kind of do the daily golds and you do some of the grind packs, if you want to follow just using commons and the limited amount of rare golds you can, but eventually you're just going to chuck all gold rares in here. And what I usually do with my packs is after I start kind of opening exchanges, any card that is 81 rated or under, so 75 to 81 rated, I usually put back into crafting upgrades. And what do you get in these? A minimum of a 77 rating, 5 of these cards, which is really useful for helping you build things like the Team of the Week upgrade. It's really useful for packing you stuff along the way. That's an 85 plus that you could put into exchanges. And even if you get horrible luck and every single card is only a 75 rated, you put it right back into this pack and you get basically over half the pack done, ready to craft again. So if you're building out, let's say 30 to 50 of these a day minimum with your dailies, some of the exchanges, very easily you're going to see those golds come back in many different ways. You have things like the 85 overall shapeshifters. If you get 485s, you're going to have a 75 times 20. So a lot of cards are going to be under 81 rated here. 86 rated, you're going to get a bunch of 81s, but then a bunch of 82 pluses. All those 81s below, put into crafting upgrades. It's going to make you build packs really quick. It's going to help you build fodder really quick. And also, it helps that unlimited process of pack into a pack, into a pack, into a pack. Now, we'll touch briefly why I think that's better than player picks. But before we do, I want to show you the Team of the Week upgrade, why this is important. So I like taking my 82s to 84s, and we put them in here. I usually do a mix. If you want to see kind of the filter I use for this, I'll usually do either low to high, high to low. That doesn't really matter. I'll do max overall of 84, minimum overall of 82, and then we'll ignore position, change that to newest. Ignore position here, acquisition date newest. If you want to put in quality gold, you can, just so other special cards don't pop up. But what will end up happening is you'll get a mix of 84s, 83s, 82s, especially if you've been opening packs. You can kind of mess around to see what rating you can get away with in terms of the lowest stuff possible. Feel free to tweak that, but as you keep grinding this over time, you're going to notice it's very easy to just build out infinite of these packs, so it's really not going to matter to get exact ratings. That being said, this is a good place to get rid of a lot of that mid-range fodder that doesn't fit exchanges. And then from that, you're going to be able to do two things. You're going to be able to get rid of a lot of that fodder, and then you basically have almost a guarantee to get yourself an exchange pack. There are some times where you do get 84 rateds. That is still a reality because it's an 84 plus. But a lot of these happen to be 85s that you get, 86, 87s. And I've actually got quite a few 89s. So we'll open this as an example here. First one, we get an 87. I've built out, as you see, quite a bit in a row. And this didn't take a lot of work to do. We built this out probably doing 20, 30 exchanges into more exchanges, into more exchanges. As you see there, we got an 85. So if you're taking your low-rated fodder, you're doing crafting upgrades with the 81s and under, you're taking 82s, 84s, you're getting those into Team of the Week packs, you're getting exchanges across the board, both in the pack pulls and each of these, you're going to very quickly be able to start crafting a lot of these different SBCs. Now let's show you kind of what this looks like in terms of realistic pack pulls. We're going to do a few different ratings. I'll start with the shapeshifter here, and then we'll kind of go from that. So here we have 89s, we have some 90s in there, sweet. One of the cool things too is when you pack promo cards, most of us are going to get to the point where we get dupe storage filled with special cards. I know last week when you could only use the 89 rateds, I had an influx of 94 and 95 rated special cards that were just sitting there, and I had two things to do with it. One of them is putting it back into the SBC, and then the other one was putting it into like player SBCs and stuff like that too. But here's an example of opening this pack. Look at that. We get, I'm going to count exchange cards in total, not just the rating. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-duplicate cards. The reason why I'm counting this number like this is although it's not going to all make the same exchange pack, we opened one exchange pack and we got at least 6 back in this one. And why that's cool is it's technically going in the positive direction in terms of unlimited packs. If we submitted an 89 squad where we put 4 cards in, we got 20 cards back. We just got, out of those 20 cards, at least 6 of them that we can instantly put back into more exchanges. And then the rest of the golds, if they're lower rated, We can put these into Team of the Week upgrades. We can put these into player picks. We can put these into crafting upgrades. We can build towards those exchanges with all the bonus cards. We're going the positive direction. Look at that. We got a League SBC card. If you know, you know. You can do League SBCs if you wanted. That video is in the description. I'm done with League SBCs. I don't think you need to do them at all. We get some gold commons in the 89 as well, so that's going to be nice to filter in. But look, we got even a bonus 87 that's already a duplicate. So we end up getting 7 exchange cards in there. Now, as you keep opening these, you might be limited with the amount of exchanges that you're able to make to start. But as you see there, I opened a single exchange. We got cards that we could start crafting other ones. I'm opening Team of the Weeks, making exchanges. You can go through your club, do the daily 85 plus combo upgrade. You can do the 87 plus player pick, things like that as well to build up fodder, whether it's higher end fodder, whether it's mid-tier fodder, whatever it is, you're essentially going to be building out a ton of these squads, and you can just go and open the pack right away after. You'll notice on my menus, I've built up to over 900 crafting upgrades. I was actually over 1,000 at one point, and if I focus on making more, I would probably be at 1,500 crafting upgrades by the end of the day. Building in that positive direction just because this grind is so good in terms of not only stacking those packs, but me opening those up. I'm getting walkouts, I'm getting special cards, the promo cards, I'm getting cards I'm putting in the Team of the Week upgrade. You hit a point very quickly where it becomes this unlimited process, but from that, people want to go different directions then. What I mean by that is people want to do player picks. Some people want to get fodder for player SBCs. They don't want to put all their maybe high-end promo cards into the 89 exchange. How can you kind of grind that way? And I'll explain that in a second when this updated store gets out of the way. I don't know why. The servers on PS5, I don't know if you guys noticed the menus are horrific on PS5, but whenever I'm on PS4, they go super smooth. Don't know what the deal is, but that happens to be the case. So with this kind of method, like I said, once you're following these steps, doing your dailies, building up those crafting upgrades, opening into exchanges, Team of the Weeks, you're going to very quickly notice that you're building up packs pretty rapidly. If you're noticing that you're not having trouble running out of packs whatsoever and you're going in the positive direction, that's when I would start adding things in like the 83 plus 1 of 3 player pick. For me, when I'm making a bunch of these packs, I like putting my 81 rateds in here. Sometimes I'll tweak it where it's like, all right, I'll give up crafting upgrades for a little bit. Let me make like 10 to 15 player picks. Maybe if I have a crap ton of golds in my club, I do a series where I do 25 to 50 of these. But I would still focus on the crafting upgrades and have those be part of your grind and have this kind of be with the excess. I think where a lot of people run into issues is they have very few packs, very few exchanges, very few coins, and they focus on these player picks right away. And it's harder to kind of build these out in bulk to get the fodder. These are still a great way to get fodder, but it's a lot easier when you have the crafting upgrades kind of to back you up if your pack luck's not panning out on these. So although I still recommend you include these in the grind, I wouldn't do them in the initial steps. I'd make sure you're getting the dailies done, you're getting that grind sorted. Once you kind of get out of that tier, do hundreds of these a day if you want. By all means, do so. Other things to mention, like I said before, we have very cheap 86s. Now, these could go up in price. They could go back up to 1,300 plus. It really doesn't matter. Whatever price these are, kind of take a look on the market. If they're going for 1,000 coins, see if you can win them on bid for a few hundred less, and then see if you can sell them for a few hundred more. What this does is not only create a trading tip for you to make liquid coins if you're ever low on coins. One of the nice things with this as well is you can get in the process of making coins while you're making packs on a day-to-day basis. Instead of sitting there fretting over 100 coins per card on flipping like maybe a silver, or you're sitting there trying to do BPM with not very many coins, doing something like this over time, listing it for a few hundred above the buy now, whether that's a lazy list or you think it could sell by the end of the hour, you're going to notice a lot of people are buying 86s to do this SBC, and the price is still cheap. So if it stays around this price and it's a little more than 2,000 coins to get an 86 done exchange, and you're making coins in the meantime, forget about anything else on the menus, the daily bronze, daily silver, daily gold, any of that stuff. You're good the rest of the game, or at least for the next week when these exchanges are out, just by doing this. Whether or not you want to build up other exchanges, you could, but you could sit here, just make coins on these every single day, put some into SBCs if you wanted. My way of doing it, since I have over 1 million coins and we made 250K off of these the other day, my favorite way of doing this is I literally just mass bid in bulk. If I don't have an 86, I chuck it at my club. Then every duplicate I sell. I do that till I make 50 to 100K. Then I do a few SBC runs, put those into my packs, and save them for maybe our stream that we're going to do. I find that's a very easy way to kind of build up packs in bulk, but also have the coins that you're making in the meantime. Now, outside of that, I mentioned before that people are going to go different directions in terms of if I get a bunch of promo cards, like me, for example, I have a bunch of things that are over 89 rated. I'll show you kind of special acquired newest. I have cards that are from promo Team 2. I have some from the daily free stuff that we got for Team 2 as well, the check-in machine. I'm not going to spend the 400K or whatever it is for an exchange. If I don't want to put these in a player SBC, that could be something I check in an exchange and get a bonus pack there. But as you see, I got company and a ton of single cards from the previous promo team. It was at one point, my SBC storage was filled with like 40 to 50 of these guys. And what I ended up doing was the second the 89 exchange came out with the higher rating, chuck a ton in there. But some people are going to want to make liquid coins. Some people are going to want to do player SBCs. Here's a good balance of how I get rid of maybe some like 84s and not get rid of a lot of exchange 85s, 86, 87s, 88s sort of things. Going to something like the historicals, obviously you have sections like this where you need those exact players if you want to get it done for tradable packs. But here we have an 89 and a 90 rated squad where you get decent tradable packs. Whether or not you pack a promo card in this doesn't really matter. You're turning untradables into liquid coins if you have an excess of untradables. I like to find and tweak kind of different ratings with this. And here's a perfect example of it. If you have a bunch of 84s, like we have a full squad of 11 84s here. If I chuck in 194, that brings it to an 85. If I chuck in a second one, that brings it to an 87. If I chuck in a third one, that brings it to an 88. If I replace one of the 94s with a 95, so two 95s and a 94, that gets to an 89 rating. So what you'll notice here is I could be getting a lot of exchange packs built up, getting a lot of fodder, getting a lot of promo cards, but maybe I don't want to submit a bunch of 88s, 89s, and some higher end ones to get that rating for the 89, 90 rated squad. This is a perfect way of kind of using limited promo cards with low end stuff to balance it out. So if you wanted to complete, like I said, a repeatable pack like this where you get a tradable pack and by the end of it, you get a chance at a hero or an icon pick, awesome, go for it. If you want to explore, whether it's in the player tab, whether it's in the icon tab, SBCs that have decent packs for a tradable squad, or decent tradable pack for a squad that's like 87, 88, where you can chuck in maybe 83s in a high rated card like that. Find those things throughout these menus here right now that you can turn into liquid coins. Turn your untradables to liquid coins, and any liquid coins you build up, remember, 86s are so cheap. Any of the coins you make from this, if you want to bid on 86s, whether as a trading tip or you just want to put them into an SBC to make more 86 exchanges, you can do that. And again, you should have no problem never running out of packs if you're making sure that you're flipping enough of those if you're low on coins. But if you're not low on coins and you're like me and you have a ton, mass bid on some 86s. Make like 25 to 50 a day. Trade on the side if you want to, but have that be your base and then do the menu grind that we're talking about with the crafting upgrades, with the player picks, with the team of the weeks. You're going to put yourself in a position where you're never going to run out of packs. And then it's going to come down to a preference of where you want to put stuff. So in this video, we talked about a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to reiterate how I would start the grind again because I know it's been a long video. But truly, people are going to go their direction they want to go at the end of the day. But daily bronze, silver, gold, into crafting upgrades, into team of the week packs, into exchanges. That's going to be kind of your base grind. If you're low on coins, talked about flipping 86s, how easy it is to do that. We talked about how you could use 86s into the SBC itself if you wanted to make some of these packs while making coins. Those things alone, that's like step one. Easy to get past, but once you get past there, it's extremely smooth sailing. People will go their own direction. If you're not doing any player SBCs, any promo card that you get, if you're not card collecting, put it back into the 89 exchange. Keep making those over and over. Keep putting exchanges into exchanges, and truly it's going to be an unlimited grind. If you do want to do player SBCs like I talked about before, don't worry about putting like a bunch of 89s in an 89 rated squad. Put in a bunch of 84s, throw in some of the high rated promo cards you're getting. That's going to help you not only keep a bunch of the exchange cards, get rid of a bunch of those annoying 84s if they're stuck in your club and you have nowhere that you're feeling like putting them. If you're doing the crafting upgrades or the player picks, Either way, I like putting my 81s and under into those, and then 82s to 84s I usually keep for the Team of the Week upgrades. If it's an 85 plus Team of the Week from the Team of the Week upgrade, put those into exchanges. If it's an 84 Team of the Week, save it for your daily SBCs. If we get another combo or another daily SBC that you can do maybe like 5 times a day and it requires a Team of the Week or Team of the Season, those 84 Team of the Weeks come in super helpful there to not waste exchange fodder. But what I also do too, since I do so many of these packs, is I will usually put 84 rated informs sometimes back into the 84 Team of the Week upgrade if I'm low on 84s. So that's a way you can do it too. Do you necessarily need to get that far? Probably not, but for most people, your problem's not going to be running out of packs. It's going to be literally running out of time. You're going to be doing so many SBCs. You're going to do pack to pack to pack. You're going to have a club full of golds, and you're not going to know what to do with it. So ultimately, that's going to be the biggest problem it comes down to. And that brings me to my final point. It's going to be, what do you do when you start getting SBC banned? I'm on PS5 right now. I'd rather be on the PS4 menus. The reason I'm on PS5 is I did hundreds upon hundreds of SBCs in a very limited time. And eventually, EA kicked me from the game. I tried to go back in and do SBCs again, and it won't let me. What is the workaround if you guys want to kind of avoid that, or if that happens, how can you still make packs? If you're on PlayStation and that happened on the PS4 version, just hop to the PS5. If it happened on the PS5 version, hop to the PS4. That's if you want to stay on console. I don't know Xbox if it's similar. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys are on Xbox and you've done something like that before. Has it worked? I know on PlayStation it does. But you also have the mobile app. You have the companion app on your phone. You'll be able to make packs on there. And then for whether PC, laptop, whatever you have, you also can use the web app. Now with the web app, I'm going to put in the description a link to a Pale Tools video I have on how to kind of use Pale Tools. For that video, we talked about it in the form of League SBCs, how we set up solutions and stuff through there. But I'm going to show you real quick kind of how you can do Pale Tools for kind of packs and stuff as well. So let me load that up real quick. I'm refreshing the tab real quick, kind of show you how I get there. Like I said, the Pale Tools video will kind of show you how to use Pale Tools if you're interested. I have it saved in my bookmarks right here. But if you're loading up the web app as normal, you can create packs this way. Like if I want to go into Squad Builder, I wanted to, I don't know, let's do a Shapeshifter crafting upgrade. I wanted to do Squad Builder, low to high, ignore position, maybe golds. I can start building with some of my low-end fodder, some of these packs. Boom, we're good to go. But if I put on Pale Tools, you'll see here, I get some extra solutions of stuff to do. So I have set a preset for what to do with something like my crafting upgrade, where I might put to a certain rating, a certain amount of rares, a certain amount of commons, and if I have no more commons left to pull from more rares, look at something like this, it submits it, boom, SBC is completed, boom, SBC is completed. You can do these extremely quick, and you go from on console where something was super slow, to on here, you might be able to make things in a really quick time period. You also have the option to open packs super fast. There's an option in Pale Tools where you can turn off the pack animation. So I can sit here, if I'm opening my crafting upgrades, boom, I open it, put it to my club. I can also, with single buttons, submit things to my club, put things in the SBC storage if we already have it. Like for me, S is sending to the club, and then Z is to put things in my dupe storage. Very quickly, you're able to get through a ton of these crafting upgrade packs that you're building up. But then also, too, what I like doing with this is as I'm opening these packs, if I notice my dupe storage is getting full, and I want to go back to console to maybe do player picks or make more crafting upgrades or other things, I'll very quickly go to something like my crafting upgrades, worry about my duplicate storage first, pull from that. Usually when you select in Pale Tools as a solution, I'll show you real quick in here. Usually as you select SBC storage, you'll pull from those first. But if you did only SBC storage, like if you want it pulled only from there, that'd be a very easy way of you kind of getting rid of a lot of that 100 dupe storage space, spam packs again, and then that allows you the space of if you get a bunch of dupes for your player picks or crafting upgrades when you go back to console, you don't have to constantly deal with it as it's coming. So that's another way you can deal with the soft bans that happen. You can get soft banned on here too. It's kind of the same thing. If you get soft banned on here, go back to PlayStation 5, go back to PlayStation 4. Hopefully you have enough devices where you can kind of open packs for a long period of time on each of these and be good to go. But worst case scenario, if it happens to be the case that you get soft banned on Pale Tools, you get soft banned on your mobile app, you get soft banned on PS4 and PS5, what do you do at that point? We're already hours and hours and hours in at that point if it happens. Call it a day. Come back tomorrow. You should be unsoft banned after a period of time. Should be no problem whatsoever. But what I would recommend is in the meantime, if you want to mass bid on 86s, again, regardless of whatever the price is, use this as a trading tip for the rest of time exchanges are out. If they stay around this price, the 81 times 20 and the 86 exchange is fantastic value. Sit there, find out what the buy nows are, mass bid a few hundred below, store them in your club if you want to use them the next day for the SBC, sell the rest on a few hundred above that buy now, give yourself a range where you're making 400, 500 per card. Even if you don't want to do that, make 200, 300 per card. Just sit there, trade, or at least hold the 86s if you don't want to trade. That way, when you're unbanned and you can go back to doing SBCs, you got a ton more packs ready to go or a ton more coins ready to go for the next day. And then the next day comes, you refresh. You can do the daily bronze, silver, gold, daily grind packs again if you so choose. And then you can build from there once again. But if you're like me, like I said, I'm no longer doing the grind pack. I'm no longer doing daily bronze, silver, and gold because I've already built up so many packs and I keep building on so many packs. I'm going to struggle to run out of packs for the rest of the game as long as exchanges are out. So, yeah, that's the problem I'm running into. If you have any questions or any additional kind of tips and tricks, pointers that you guys want to know, let me know down in the comments. This was a long video. Like I said, I wanted most of that beginning of the video to be kind of the initial steps. And then after that was just kind of showing you all the different directions you can go. This grind is insane and is truly unlimited. If you're struggling with the truly unlimited aspect, again, let me know. We'll help you get past that first step. But dudes, enjoy it, man. This is going to be fun next week for sure. And then hopefully they keep bringing these out and we can have fun for months to come until the end of the game. So if you did enjoy, again, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new. It's been your boy MumboElite, and I'm out. God bless.